everybody, welcome to Sunday. You made it through the week. I hope your week was safe and that the people you care about were also able to be safe. Yes, I've changed my introduction to our Sunday and chicken videos because the world is a scary place right now, and I know there were some particularly nasty comments on last week's video, and some people felt like I was letting the channel down by showing off my feelings, etc., etc. And I don't want to spend a lot of time addressing those today because blatantly I don't agree with you on that regard, and so I choose to focus on making sure that people understand the impact of what is going on in the world today on both individuals and communities that I care deeply about. And so today's video topic is kind of an activism video. Ooh, activism. So while we do talk primarily about EVs and clean energy in our Sunday musings, sometimes we do talk about ways that people are trying to make the world around them a better place, whether that is using your vehicles less, taking the train, cycling, using public transit. Maybe that is growing your own fruit and vegetables from the garden, if you have one, if you're lucky enough to have one. Or maybe it's just, the people that you support, the communities that you support, the companies that you support, being an aware and ethical consumer. Those are all valid ways of making sure that you can play your part to live a cleaner, greener, safer, smarter and more equitable world, and to live a life that when you are no longer around carries that legacy on. So whether that is giving money to local community groups or charities, or whether that is making sure that other people learn the skills that you have relied on to make your own life better, it's all really important. And I think as we are watching this, as this video goes live, it has been 13 days since President Donald Trump was inaugurated as the 47th president of the US. And 13 days doesn't feel like a long time when you say it. Like if you say, oh, Christmas is 13 days away, or my birthday is 13 days away. Neither of those things are true, by the way. You'd be like, oh, I should start getting ready to do things, right? Or maybe my holiday is 13 days away. Again, that's not true, unfortunately. But you would look at 13 days as not a very long period of time. But I know that for many people in the US right now, 13 days feels like a metaphorical prison sentence. There have been lots of executive orders handed down by the White House. The constitutionality of many of them is now being questioned, and because of the sheer number and breadth of them, it's going to take a long time for this to go through the courts. It's going to tie up the courts for a long time, and in the interim period, many people will suffer the consequences of these attempted executive actions that seek to change and circumvent the normal lawmaking process in the US. And some of those are going to affect people that you care about, whether they are people who are members of a particular community, or whether they are people who are recipients of government program funds, whether it is somebody who has to make use of food stamps, or someone who is unemployed and needs assistance, or someone who relies on government-sponsored health programs, or maybe someone who is suffering from cancer and fighting cancer and relies on government-funded cancer research to help fight and survive. Whatever the impacts are for you, and I know that it will be different for every single person watching this, I'm curious as to how you intend to resist. Obviously, this is a sensitive topic, and I'm not suggesting that anybody here tells me exactly how they plan on doing X, Y, and Z in the down below, because that's potentially not safe for anybody. I also want to reiterate that there are plenty of ways of non-compliance that are still legal. So I'm not telling people to go out and commit illegalities in order to resist. But I am curious how you plan on resisting the onslaught of, let's just say it, of what is starting to very much look like fascism in the US and the impacts around the world. Because we know that President Trump has been making threats across Europe, across the Middle East, around the world, to our neighbours north of here in Canada. As a Canadian citizen, I have thoughts on that, which I won't share because it might get demonetized. But, you know, I want to know how you plan on building resilient communities that can resist this particular pendulum swing in history. And I choose my words very carefully here because history is a little bit like a clock. It swings one way and then it swings back the other. And many people I've talked to believe that good things lie in our future. It's just that for the next 4, maybe 8 years, things are going to be particularly dire. It's not just the US, it's happening around the world in different ways. This week, anti-whatever legislation has been passed around the world that either seeks to remove rights from a group of people or to push a particular agenda that might not be best for the planet. So maybe your active resistance is just cycling everywhere and making sure that you don't use fossil fuels, making sure that you don't buy plastics. I know from our 3D printer video that we did recently, a lot of people voiced concern about excess plastics, and that has got me thinking about how I can make sure that when I do use a 3D printer, I am not wasteful, and that when I am using a plastic, it is definitely, wherever possible, a organic derived plastic that doesn't use fossil fuels, that doesn't have a long time, impact on the planet. And that is part of my journey. That is part of my resist. Personally, I am moving a lot of my data away from the cloud and back to my own abode, to my own castle, as it were. Pulling data from the cloud and bringing it back to my own personal storage system. Because if somebody wants to access my data, I would like them to have to come to me and ask for it, rather than just scrape it for AI or whatever other reasons they might deem appropriate. Maybe your resist is to not use superchargers. Maybe you were like, yeah, it's convenient and it's reasonably quick and reliable, but the price is too high for me. Maybe that is your resist. And I would love to know in the down below, kind of just generic ways that you are planning on resisting this. Seems like a sprint towards authoritarianism right now, but how you feel about that and how you feel about what we do moving forwards. Someone is biting me. I do apologize. It's getting late in the day. The temperature is dropping really quickly. It was like 10 degrees, 12 degrees Celsius earlier. It's going to get down to -5, -6 tonight, and the sun is just going behind the big trees. So our solar panels are pretty much done for the day, and I soon will be too. So anyway, tell me, how do you plan on resisting? And how would you like us to help you resist? What things do you want us to focus on to help you be better informed and to build smart, resilient, safe and equitable communities for the people that you care about? Let me know in the down below, and I will see you this time next week. Fingers crossed. Thanks for joining us today. And if you've got thoughts, make sure you leave them in our Discord chat room, on our Patreon page down below, or you can reach out to us on Mastodon or Blue Sky. Thanks to the amazing list of people scrolling by on your screen right now. They're part of the massive community of supporters who make this channel possible, helping us through Patreon and YouTube, covering our bills, paying our team, and helping us to remain 100% independent. If you'd like to join them and see your name listed here, just follow the links below. We've got options available across a range of different price points from just $1.50 US a month. A massive welcome to our newest supporters: Taylor Knox, Skyel, Andy, Gilardo Orzoko,
Herb Suvesh, Dave Dittman, Christopher, Sean, Douglas Hill, Patrick Adams, How Many Wills Will Will Smith Smith If Will Smith Wills, Eridoon, Beazle Bob, William Hoffman, Cicadas Sing to hide existential dread at their short lives, Alan Benton, CC, Robert Howell, Mr. Hockey, and John DePoy. To join the list and get your shout out, become a paid Patreon member for your moment of fame, and you can even give membership to someone else. If you'd like to support us with a one-off donation, you'll find links below to make Ko-fi and Bitcoin donations, and we even have an old-fashioned PO box you can reach us at for the time being, addressed below. You'll also find links to our swag store, and if you're someone who has to shop on Amazon, please consider using our affiliate link so we get the commission, not Jeff Bezos. So we can continue to focus on making our content even better and reduce burnout, we're being a little freer with our release days, but plan on dropping new content every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday on our main channel, plus something over on Sunday on TE Take 2. If you want more, the algorithm that hates us thinks you should watch this video, but this video is one we'd like you to check out. Be awesome, be kind, be intentional, and don't forget to resist. Keep evolving!